Utopia 9, Volatile Vacation. Utopia 9 is a top-down arcade-style shooter made by Whalegun, with similarities to multiple games such as FTL and other top-down arcade shooters. You play as someone coming to the planet Utopia 9 for a lovely vacation, as hinted in the opening music. But as soon as you press play, the music changes and you are dumped into a mutant-filled wasteland where you need to fight to make it to customer service and finally complain about your horrible stay. During your vacation, you encounter multiple levels of enemy, from the basic easy-to-kill mutants to the big ol' armoured ones. You'll also find many guns in order to kill them, such as your basic pistol, a penetrating laser pistol, a harpoon, and a split pistol. As there are multiple types of weapons, there are also multiple types of ammunition, which are all collected from ammo crates, which will randomly drop from enemies. And to complement your arsenal, you can also acquire a multitude of melee weapons, such as your basic suitcase up to a sword and chainsaw. You can also get armor. This is in 3 tiers, your basic armor, which will absorb 10 HP of damage before breaking, up to your power armor, which will absorb 30. And finally there are the gadgets, such as your camera's flash, which can stun, or even vortex grenades, which create goddamn black holes. Should your large arsenal of deadly weapons happen to fail you when you die, you can get revenge on your next run, as the mutant who killed you will grab your gear and turn into a nemesis, who will spawn where you died the last run and be equipped with whatever you had on you at the time. Should you beat them, you can grab all that gear right back off them. However, if you do manage to make it to the end and you are greeted with the game's boss, their customer service representative, this is where the game suddenly gets pretty hectic, as many enemies spawn and you constantly have rockets firing at you. As you damage the representative, he goes through stages. The first is relatively easy, then the pillars in the corner start damaging in an aura, then they spread, all while limited ammo crates spawn in the area. When he is beaten, you have successfully complained and they dispatch a playable tour guide who is armed with an umbrella. The level system of Utopia reminds me of FTL in a lot of ways, where you can see what types of weapons, health, and armor are going to be in the next area, and you can see the full map as soon as you can progress. All levels have at least one building in them, be it a small building with only a few enemies, to being a quite large building. Each building will have a chest in it that will hold one item per player. Mixed crates can contain anything, whereas weapon crates will have one of the specified weapon from the level select screen. As you kill enemies, you pick up Soylent, the game's version of experience, and when you finally collect enough you can mutate, which will gain you one of the game's many abilities, such as ammo crates giving you health, and Genji's deflect. While the game doesn't seem to have a solid storyline, when you make it to the staff area portion of the game, there are messages written on the walls about Soylent being poison, which leads one to believe that the mutants you're fighting were once normal tourists or workers, but consumed enough Soylent to fully mutate, which also makes me question whether the violence is the planet's actual attraction or if it's an outbreak of mutations, but I'll let you guys figure that one out on your own. When you either die or finish the game with a complaint, you get a performance chart detailing how you went on that run. This is also how you earn your travel points, which you can then use to buy upgrades for your run while in the starting area. These upgrades will also link to multiple of the game's achievements. Speaking of achievements, Utopia also has an amazing 14 hidden achievements, which, small side note, I can't even find a guide for after a very quick look, so good luck with achieving all of them. Something that genuinely impresses me about this game is the persistent starting area rockets. When you first get to the planet, your rocket crash lands and you jump out, but these rockets stay in the starting area through sessions and playthroughs. It's purely cosmetic, but it's a really nice touch of continuity. For some reason, the developers decided to add a wide dimension to the game, so despite it never being used besides in 2 very specific places in the game, you can jump. Although you'll never use it in combat, and the only other time you'll travel upwards is in the caverns area, where you can land some sick flanks if you try, but otherwise the upwards dimension has absolutely no use besides slowing you down when you forget how to jump in the lost area. The controls are all quite intuitive, and with some practice you can start to cycle your weapons as needed very quickly, and with your mouse pointer showing where you're facing at all times, it's easy to navigate through all areas. If you like, you can also play this game as local multiplayer by hooking up a controller. In this mode, people are downed instead of instantly dying, and can be revived if the other player is willing to sacrifice half of their health for their ally. And as I said earlier, crates will also drop double the loot as there are now 2 players, but other than that, there are no significant changes. Utopia is a very fun arcade game, suitable for when you can't think of anything to do to entertain your guests, or just as a little bit of fun during some downtime. It's fast-paced and has a comical art style that anyone can enjoy, with intuitive controls and many weapons to play through as you kill everything in your path, including those that have killed you before. The only things that let this game down are the fact that this game can get pretty repetitive pretty fast as levels remain the same through playthroughs, and the fact that there's a confusing jump mechanic that really isn't needed at all. Utopia is currently $11.99 USD on Steam, should you like to pick it up and have some mutant shooting fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video that was made possible by my partners over at BigBossBattle.com. Go check them out for more high quality reviews and gaming news. And link will be in the description down below or on your screen right here. And if you did enjoy, please leave a like and subscribe for more, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Utopia 9 is a top-down arcade shooter made— oh shit, I forgot to fix this. As there— and to complement your arsenal— who will spawn where you does the— okay. But if you do manage to make it to the end and you agree with the game— oh. All levels have at least one building in them, be it a small building with only a few enemies, to being a— what? Which leads one to believe the mutants of— Utopia has an amazing I need to check that before I say it. 14. Speaking of achievements, Utopia also has an amazing 13... And as I said earlier, crates will also drop double or just as a little bit of fun. The only things that let this game down are the fact that it can get very repetitive pretty fast, as the levels remain the same through playthroughs, and the fact that there's a confusing jump mechanic that really isn't needed at all. Utopia is currently $11.99 USD on Steam, should you like to pick it up, and have some mutant shootin' fun.